was very intimate for like 10 seconds, and I got very, wow, holy cow.
What we're gonna do so great.
I heard no one showed up. And I was like, great, I'll just go on the stage, I'll say a little thing.
No one's here. You don't know what's going on here.
So true.
We're all naked.
No, that's worse. That's worse.
We're all alone.
Me too. So you can you'll see me around. So
It's like this. I'm excited.
it's like, are we ready? Are we upward?
Or both. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm Michael Childers. I go to FIT. I'm a mechanical engineering major. I have these patterns that I do where I write down a bunch of stuff that I processed, that I'm like processing, and kind of try to make it rhyme, or just short little blurbs to see how I feel in that moment, and it helps me like process my emotions and stuff like that. And so these are some stuff that I wrote from 2 years ago that I've already long processed and thought about, and so yeah. I was a maker and now I'm a listener. I'm a maker made to be a listener. It's hard to have a good time when you're not having a good time. My love should not have to be enough. Keeping it together to keep you together. If I'm yours, you shouldn't treat me like your room. Dreaming to be dreamed of. Were you the winter to my spring, or were you just a drought? Can't have flavor without depth. Life can be a cycle of love and loneliness, and I think that's what makes me so happy when love comes. Who's doing what they love? Who can I look up to? I want to be in a universe of our own making. Playing with your hair almost makes it seem fair. Nothing to do but to be you. Frustratingly flustered. The silence is so loud. Is it possible to love one who can't love? My crush is crushing me. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning, and sometimes I feel like that water is boiling. You have to get in the water before you can learn to swim. I've been getting a little bit more upset lately, but part of me is happy I have something to be upset about. I want to be in the type of love that the thick is thin. I'm always working on being satisfied with myself. Am I perfect yet? That's it.
Oh. What's your beautiful? Thank you.
I'm really sweaty right now.
Straight. That's the jacket.
Well, that's me. Who's next?
Oh, it's great.
Thank you.
It's been a while. Okay. All right. It's okay. I'll get you off that stage.
Thank God.
Girl. For now. For now.
That was a lot of work.
Hi, everyone. Hello. My name is Jenn, and this is the first time I'm reading this out loud. It was actually an introduction to an essay about what if Anne Frank survived the Holocaust. Wow. So this is probably going to take the whole 5 minutes, but bear with me, please.
Take time. It's very fine.
Take your time.
Go. Yeah, let's go. Bye.
As Anne neared the landing, she closed her eyes, her curiosity and determination moving her body onward, her heart and mind unsure as to what she would soon be exposed. Her curiosity went out as she snapped open her eyes, shook her head, and looked around. Books and papers were scattered in disarray after being pilfered through by Nazi SS soldiers who hoped to find incriminating evidence or other valuables, which they could later barter or use to sell out their comrades, thus buying favor and one more day of freedom for themselves. It was the game of life, trading another's to protect your own. Layers of dust accumulated in the months since anyone last ventured into the attic. The rooms were left unused after their hasty removal. The dust particles became disturbed by the new arrival, causing them to filter and float through the afternoon light. Her eye caught a glimpse of red and white gingham peeking out beneath the debris. As she picked up the diary, she rubbed her hand over the textured cover in a gentle caress. The pure white, long ago stained by the dirt and dust of the old building. How poetic. "My old friend," she whispers. A sad smile spreads to the corners of her mouth. As she fans the pages, the familiar scent of paper is comforting, washing over her mind and cleansing away the stench of death and decay that are burned into her brain. The smell of paper mingled with dust causes a memory to come rushing back. Her memory of the first time she held this precious gift. She again remembers the joy of her 13th birthday. But this time, it's different. Converted, as if observing a reflection in a half-silvered mirror or a flickering film reel that has become worn and spotted with time, causing the fuzzy picture to stutter and skip. The joy is now tinged with bitterness as she endures the flood of pain and grief at the recollection of the faces of her mother and her sister and others who were left behind to uncertain fates, now looking back upon her through the corridors of time. She remembers the gaping loss felt at the small, intimate remembrance marking her birthday this year, and her wish as she blew out her candle that many would be found safe. Clasping the book tightly to her chest, possessed by the fear it will be ripped away once more, she clutches to comfort from the poor substitute, clinging tight as she would to her father. She is simultaneously thankful for the grace given to her, begging for the pain to be taken away, and calling upon the promises granted to God's chosen ones, wishing that one day soon the world would see her as more than just a Jew. As her eyes skimmed the pages, she heard her voice rise from the page, as one hears over a radio, muffled, contorted, belonging to her, but at the same time foreign. "Kitty, I'm alive, and that's the main thing," Father says. "I'm alive all right, but don't ask where or how. Hitler took away our nationality long ago." I've gained some insight into human nature since I came here, which is good, but I've had enough for the present. Just this once, I hope we will be chosen for something good. It's a wonder I haven't abandoned all my ideals. They seem so absurd and impractical. Yet I cling to them because I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are truly good at heart. I get cross, then sad, and finally end up turning my heart inside out, the bad part on the outside and the good part on the inside, and keep trying to find a way to become what I'd like to be and what I could be if... So much is missing. The detailed descriptions of their lives here at this crossroads stopped abruptly at the final turn down into the path of the pit of hell. She was forced into silence for so long. Her only act of written expression, scratches in the dirt, swept away by the winds and rain. Affirming she will remain silent no longer, Anne arises. Though others have perished, she will memorialize them through her words, lengthening their legacy, though their lives have been cut short. This is not the end. It is a new beginning.
Oh,
Unfortunately, that's not a historical narrative because Anne passed away sometime between March and April 1945. But if she was alive, this is what I imagine her return would be like.
no.
That would be the thought.
Before the time, maybe you're lying in fun.
I feel like
Right.
that was the
Right.
that wasn't.
What are you looking at?
Only more.
Next.
If you
Swing fish.
no shit. Well,
Right. So, I'm Issa Lopez. I'm a Sarasota-based artist. I've been using poetry out this past month to process a lot of things. So this is when my poem is untitled, like most of them. But did you think about me when you did it? How you brutally, violently ripped me from the very home I built, from the now crumbling foundation. We could have lived in that home. How warm and safe it was. We could have grown old in that home. But then you came with your bulldozers and wrecking balls, ripping, tearing, destroying, until only rubble and shattered glass remained. I had frozen in horror as I was beguiled by your words, how trusting I was. As if words were what built the earth, the universe, the home I'd guarded so heavily. But it was never you. Never for a moment. The monumentous cathedral adorned with such intricacy with mind and mind alone. My horror swelled into pure white rage, spinning into my own cyclone, a storm so formidable it shakes the world, knocks your bulldozers and wrecking balls into the cosmos. When the dust settles, I will begin to build again. Woo!
How are you doing?
Okay. Yes, yeah. So my question I've been mulling over is whether or not there's an aesthetic element to justice. And so I was thinking about why when we kill some dogs, we're like, yeah, but if you just went and like ripped up a butterfly, people would be like, you're a psychopath. What's wrong with you? But you're killing the same animal that wants you alive.
Oh,
So that is kind of what I was trying to explore. It's called The Things You Call Just. Don't tell me this is about mercy. Don't soften it. Don't rinse your hands and call them clean. You crush the cockroach and feel righteous. Heal down, life gone, problem solved. You don't shake, you don't pray, you don't even slow your breath. You call it necessary because the body is wrong shapes, because the legs move too fast, because disgust has convinced you it's a cry to exist near you. And you sleep. You sleep so peacefully. But tear the wings of a butterfly, and suddenly everybody knows the word evil. You recognize the badness. Suddenly you say, what kind of monster would do that? As if the only unforgivable sin is making you watch. As if the difference between justice and psychosis is timing, is prettiness, is whether suffering fits inside a story you like about yourself. You didn't spare the butterfly because you respect life. You spared it because it flatters you. It confirms your softness. It lets you pretend your compassion is a principle and not a preference. You are not moral, you are aesthetic. You kill what repulses you. You protect what adorns you. You baptize your impulse with language, pest, threat, infestation, and suddenly, violence sounds like hygiene. You say the cockroach doesn't belong. You say it invaded. You say it crossed a line. Funny how every line leads back to your comfort. You rip forests by the root and call it development. You cage children and call it policy. You let the poor die slowly and call it complicated. You bomb strangers and call it defense. But God forbid someone lingers over the harm. God forbid cruelty be slow enough to reveal exactly what it is. That's when you panic. That's when you call someone sick. Not because they are worse, because they don't look away. Because they expose what you depend on staying invisible. You don't hate violence, you have intimacy with it. You hate the kind that breathes, the kind that makes eye contact, the kind that stains the air with time. You prefer your death efficient, industrial, anonymous. You prefer it crushed, burned, exported, outsourced. You want your hands clean even when your life is built on a pyramid of corpses you train yourself not to count. And still, you insist on calling yourself good. You tell yourself intention matters, but intention bends to convenience every time. You tell yourself necessity matters, but necessity is just what you call desire when you don't want to own it. You say, I have no choice, as if that absolves you of choosing. But let me ask you something you don't want to answer. If a cockroach were beautiful, would you still kill it? If it shimmered, if it floated, if it reminded you of childhood, if it had a story you learned to love, would your heel still come down so easily? Or would you suddenly discover another solution, another word, another mercy? Because this is a truth you keep stepping around. Your ethics are not built on life, they are built on a likeness, on proximity to what you recognize as worthy of grief. You call it justice when the killing is fast. You call it madness when the suffering is slow. But both are born from the same place, a hand deciding what gets to say. So don't talk to me about morals until you admit what you're really protecting. It's not innocence, it's not order, it's not safety. It's the fragile illusion that you are different from the violence you permit, as long as that happens quietly, efficiency, and far enough away that you never have to feel what you've done. That's not justice, that's just cowardice with better lighting.
Wow.
Wow.
Man.
As I'm reading it, I was like, oh, this one's a little darker than I remembered it being.
I think that was awesome.